I have a little story to tell all of you. When I was a kid, at school, I used to forget to do my science project until the very last minute. And this applied with my presentations. I never prepared for my presentation. Only at the last second, I would have a reaction. Then only I would do something. Now the presentation, as you can tell, were never perfect. They were never great. I never achieved the top of the class. And now I have someone who joined my club, Mercedes, guys. Now the thing is, when it came to electric cars, Mercedes was unfazed by what Tesla was doing back in the mid-2010s. Mercedes didn't really seem interested, right? But then it took Audi and BMW for Mercedes to realize that, okay, electric cars are actually going to be a thing. We have to do something about it. So it seems like Mercedes took some desperate measures to come up with something. Now, Mercedes caught up very fast, but I think Mercedes went a little too fast that now their new electric cars are beginning to have a rather bland image. It's like you can't really tell they are Mercedes cars. In fact, when I saw the EQE, I literally confused it for a Prius at one point. This Mercedes EQE costs 115,000 euros. Is this value for money or not? We're gonna find out in a moment, everyone. Now over here, the front design of the Mercedes EQE. The design is very similar to other EQ classes, guys. But then I did emphasize with the EQS that it does resemble the Mercedes V-Class to some extent. In fact, if you look at the side, it has it looks like it has some V-Class vibe to it, or the Mercedes Vito as well. Looks interesting. They're like micro Mercedes badges. And if you look carefully into the headlights, you see this trim that looks like wood, guys. This has to be the first time I've ever seen this. Now over here is a side view of the Mercedes EQE, and it looks largely similar to the Mercedes GLC, everyone. Now the thing about the Mercedes EQE side is that it looks also like a shorter version of the Mercedes EQS, guys. There's no relevance whatsoever to the E-Class or to the Mercedes GLE. It's obvious Mercedes calls it the EQE SUV for categorizing sakes. Gorgeous AMG Mercedes wheels, which are specialized for the EQ classes. They always get these sorts of wheels, guys. Pretty nice. The branches are alloy, but the middle parts are plastic. There are a number of advantages you get with this Mercedes EQE SUV. 360-degree parking cameras with parking sensors at the front and at the rear. Actual air vents on the sides, guys. Nothing pretentious. 4MATIC, everyone. Keyless entry, everyone. And you do get blind spot monitoring. However, everyone, it's not all pink roses. There are a number of problems we are going to address. You get side steps that are quite conspicuous, but they do not fold back, guys. They just remain there. So on a muddy day, they also get quite muddy. You get fake vents right here, guys. And bits of the trim underneath that have no purpose whatsoever, but they're just there for the looks, and this whole thing is hard plastic for some reason. Now over here is the exciting part. We're going to explore the interior in a moment, but I want to show you all the key of the Mercedes EQE, the EQE SUV. You get these sorts of keys, guys, just like other EQ classes, and these are the door handles, guys. Pop-out door handles, which has become quite a popular trend today. Now the thing about these pop-out handles is that they were quite troublesome when I first stumbled across them, but then I was taught how to use them. So over here is the lock, and over here is the open. Check this out. So whenever I want to lock the EQE SUV, I just put it here. All right, this is to lock it. Now to open it, I should avoid touching this part. I have to touch the middle. There we go, guys. Job done. Ooh, yes, everyone. The exciting part. The interior of the Mercedes EQE SUV. Okay, so first impression, everyone. I have to say that just like every other electric car, there's a strong emphasis on simplicity. Now, this does contradict Mercedes originally, because there was a time Mercedes was known for its flamboyance. Mercedes was known for its class. Mercedes was known for its status, commanding respect on the road. This aspect appears to have been diluted in this EQE SUV, and also particularly for other EQ classes, you see, because when sitting behind the wheel of a Mercedes, you can tell it's a real Mercedes when you see the star or when you see the bonnet, guys. It's like something that's ready to command the road, command respect on the road. But in this EQE, it feels a bit generic. There's no passion science project being done in a rush. So it's almost as if Mercedes did this in a bit of a rush. But they did a good job nonetheless, guys. Like, they still upheld a strong Mercedes identity, and I'm going to show you all where and how. And now, first thing first, Mercedes has abandoned the concept of a swivel wheel. It started with the S-Class, the all-new S-Class. Instead, they adopted a concept of having a massive tablet-like screen here. And then this whole center cocoons you, and this whole center is actually floating because underneath you get additional storage space. So it's very similar to other electric cars, although I know that Japanese competitors, they love having this whole thing open. Now the thing about this interior, steering wheel, which is electrically adjustable. You can move it up, down, in and out. It's very good, although it's very slow, and that can be annoying, but it's not a very big deal. Otherwise, everything feels good. One thing to remark about this Mercedes EQE is that it's very spacious in the sense you can see outside, but then everything is at your reach, guys. It doesn't have this minivan stereotype, so where everything is kilometers away from you. Everything is at your reach. Now, I know Mercedes always likes to put their extinguisher right here, and I saw this on a number of their SUVs, especially the GL models. So the presentation is very similar to other EQ classes, guys. The typical, right? Massive trim right here, micro Mercedes badges, pretty cute. Then digital instruments cluster, which looks like a tablet as well. And jet engine like air vents, guys. Mercedes identity. They always have their seating adjustment onto the door. It started since the 90s. This is a real Mercedes identity. Now the steering wheel indicates that this is a Mercedes with an AMG pack to it. Really good. But is it really worth it, guys? Because I don't really quite see AMG pairing well with an electric Mercedes. And the steering wheel feels rather... It's a bit thick. It's like holding a bike tire, guys. Yeah, and otherwise it is squidgy. It's pleasant to hold on to. Yeah, fine, I can give you that, but the design looks a bit... I understand they were trying to go for a classic styling, but I feel like it just doesn't really pair well, because you see, on one hand you have a classic styled steering wheel, and then on the other hand you have a like modern looking interior. A bit of a contradiction. Now this stock over here is for your transmission, everyone. Now over here are the window controls and the mirror controls. I like the presentation. You get a panoramic sunroof, everyone. Time to talk about practicality, everyone. So over here and over here. Cup holders, guys, that are adjustable. Then you get your wireless telephone recharge, and you get 2 USB points right there. And when you close it, it's a nice piano black trim, although I would go straight for another trim because the trim in this interior, I prefer wood. I think wood would look nice. Anyways, this is your central console storage. It is pretty deep, so that's quite nice. And it does have 2 USB points in there. Now, over here, guys, the fun part, glove boxes. There's a button right there to open it. The glove box is of average size for its segment. Now the door bin, everyone. The door bin is not the best, but it is quite spacious. Can it fit a big water bottle? No, I don't think it can. But it can fit a small water bottle, but it's not very spacious. It's not very deep, guys. It stops like until here. This whole part has no purpose. Now, everyone, it's not all pink roses. There are a number of problems I'm going to address. The first problem is that, you see, as I've mentioned earlier at the beginning when I sat in this interior, usually most Mercedeses have this, you know, strong feel about them. They have this feeling of I dominate the road or I own the road or something. But there's something about this EQE that's a little too humble. Did Mercedes do the right thing going humble? I'm not sure, guys. It was more interesting when it was more like flamboyant, when there was more details or something, you see. Because you get this huge panel, this huge trim that just doesn't have a purpose, like not even a storage or anything. I have no idea what was going on with the windowsill, guys. I mean, look at what Mercedes did. Mercedes, just like other German car manufacturers, are known for being well built. Yet, look at what happens when I just gently move this, guys. This thing shakes a lot. It moves a lot, guys. It's Like, you know, this is why I would never trust this for a door handle. If you want to close the door of your Mercedes EQE SUV, do not pull this, guys. Pull this. That's what I would do. No storage space up here for your glasses, guys, and you do not get a handle right here to help you when you go out. You get an additional storage space underneath, but I feel like for a Mercedes, this doesn't really seem to suit the theme, because Mercedes was known to be all, you know, cocooning and everything, right? Everything would be above. Mercedes never had to do this unless it was for their utility vehicles. It's time to explore the rear seat of the Mercedes EQE, but first I want to tell you how I love this door sill. This is what I wanted to see of a Mercedes, guys. This is what I really like. See, this is what I'm talking about. Consistency. The front door sill looks very weird, but this looks far better. Let's compare it. See this? This is the back door sill. Now let's take a look at the front. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Like, what was Mercedes thinking with this? All right. Oh. Well, that's pretty alarming. There's no handle right here for me to help myself get inside. There's no handle anywhere. What exactly does Mercedes expect me to hold on to? Legroom, guys. Legroom is good, but it's a little bit limited because the driver's seat and the front passenger seat it's not, the seating adjustment is not the problem. It's just at the bottom there is the pillars of the seats, guys, and it's in the way. It's limiting my leg room. My knee room otherwise is excellent. No complaints over there. You do get rear pockets, guys, but this whole rear of the seat is rather plasticky, so it's a bit firm, guys. Not very pleasant. Rear seat of the Mercedes EQE, everyone, are supposed to be your cup holders, but I have no idea how they pop out, guys. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, how do I get the cup holders out? Euros, you do not get anything going on right here. You get this bit of plastic that has no purpose whatsoever. It's almost as if it was intended for the climate controls for the rear seats, guys. You get 2 USB points down there though. And yeah, the door presentation is quite nice. It looks surprisingly good, but it would be nicer if there was some additional details. No heated rear seats, guys, but the door bin is big. That's a plus. Here is the boot space of the Mercedes EQE SUV. Now, the way to open it, I spent 5 minutes trying to figure out how it works. There are 2 ways of opening it, actually. To open it with the button on the key fob, guys. But eventually I discovered that it's the same system as the Volkswagen cars. Just do this. Why Mercedes? Why can't you just be yourself? Don't go too simple. Here is the boot space of the Mercedes EQE, everyone. Plentiful space. Now I cannot really confirm you can move houses. So over here you do get tether points at least. Your 12-volt socket is right there, everyone. Now you can also move houses with this Mercedes EQE if you fold the rear seats down, guys. There you go. See, when the rear seats are folded down, you get this flat space. Quite good. Now, would you really move houses with this? It's not something I would recommend, but it is something possible. Because the seatbelt leans onto this part of the seat, it's easy to push back up. So here's my conclusion of the Mercedes EQE, everyone. The results of the science project. Did Mercedes do a good job or not? I have to say, Mercedes did an okay job with this. It seems like Mercedes assumed that going simple, going humble was the best way to approach electric cars, and I'm not really sure if it played in their favor or not, but whether it did or not doesn't really matter because they continue to sell like hotcakes thanks to company and professional purchase. That's right, everyone. Now we cover the very big question. For a price of 115,000 euros, is this Mercedes EQE SUV good value for money or not? I have to say it's okay value for money, guys. Here's the reason why. I was very impressed with the equipment on the exterior, the 360-degree parking camera and the parking sensors, parking aids, top of the top. But the thing is, as soon as you go to the back seat, as soon as you go to the interior, there are a number of equipment missing. The back seat was virtually empty despite the price of 115,000 euros, guys. Many competitors, electric or combustion, they always offer something. Why does this Mercedes EQE not offer something? Very big mystery, guys. I don't quite understand. Now, if I were to buy this as a professional vehicle, as a company vehicle, it would make more sense, but it still won't make a difference because 115,000 euros, I can buy another company vehicle which will offer me more equipment on board and even family friendliness. Humble opinion of this Mercedes EQE. I love this Mercedes EQE, everyone. I am very impressed. Mercedes has taken very strong initiatives for electric cars, but the thing is, they did rush. It seems like Mercedes was not always interested when it came to the EQ classes. It seems like they assumed what electric cars would look like. And Citroën made that same mistake back in the 1970s, by the way. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run, everyone. And I have a question to ask all of you. Do you prefer the EQE SUV or do you prefer the Mercedes GLC?